Hi everyone, and welcome to Ginger Prime. My name is Brian if you're new around here, and if you're a returning subscriber, you look dashing. That's what chat told me to tell you. That's your compliment for the day for subscribing. So let's dive into the news. If you guys have not heard, J. Allen Brack is out at Blizzard. He's the president of Blizzard. We've got to cover the Wowhead post. We're also going to go over the press release in this video. As always, I'd love to know your thoughts. Now, I'm filming these right now live, so I will be responding to chat as best as I can with this topic. This is something that is not surprising, and as a TLDR, if you don't want to watch the whole video, I don't think this is enough, but today's earnings call should be interesting and telling. Now, we're going to see a lot of PR speak, and if you guys are new and you don't really, and you haven't seen this kind of thing happen at companies before, this is one of those things where I definitely say that J. Allen is leaving with a golden parachute. This is one of those where it's time that you move along, and we're going to make sure that we pay you so that it's there's no lawsuits, there's nothing like that. And whether that frustrates you or if it just goes and, the cynic in all of us is like, yeah, I figured as much. We're going to go ahead and we'll talk about that here in today's video as well. Guys, if you want to join me for these live recordings, I'm actually going to be streaming all the way to August the 13th, taking over for Chris over on Work to Game as we celebrate our 5 years as a Work to Game network in this regards. So if you want to come hang out live, be sure to check the links below. But outside of that, let's go ahead and dive into these posts. To all members of the Blizzard community, we want to let you know about an important leadership change at Blizzard Entertainment starting today. It's done. J. Allen Brack will be stepping down as the leader of the studio, and Jen O'Neill and Mike Ybarra will co-lead Blizzard moving forward. Now, Mike Ybarra joined Blizzard in 2019 over from Xbox. We'll see. Yeah, that perfectly shows up right now. So you've probably seen him before. If you haven't seen him, he was over at Xbox, and now he's essentially in charge with Jen of Blizzard. And he was before kind of running the Battle.net. Jen O'Neill, listed right here on LinkedIn, EVP of development at Blizzard Entertainment. So essentially, like Chat and I were kind of talking, like maybe he's going to be focusing on making sure that they're making money. Jen's going to be focusing on making good games. So lots to discuss as it relates to the news. So Jen joined Blizzard in January as Executive Vice President of Development, where she's been providing senior development leadership and support to the Diablo and Overwatch franchises. Jen is a former head of Vicarious Visions, which is now part of Blizzard Entertainment. Now, Diablo 2 Remaster, which is coming out, I think this month, if not, here in a couple of weeks or early September. I don't have the date etched in my brain. That was being led by Vicarious Visions, which essentially got absorbed into Blizzard, but they're the ones who've been doing, I think, a lot of the really good work that a lot of people overall have been praising very highly. They've done a lot of really good remasters overall. They were not essentially in charge of Reforged. That was a mess. Then we'll just go ahead and continue on. So blah, 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 blah. Jen is the head of Vicarious Visions. Perfect. Okay. After many years at Xbox, Mike's joined the company in 2019 as the executive vice president and general manager of the platform and technology, where he's been overseeing the evolution of Battle.net and our development services organization. Jen and Mike have more than 3 decades of gaming industry experience between them. I always think it's interesting when they people combine numbers. It's a PR kind of method. Like, all in all, in this building, we've got 200,000 years of experience. Like it's cumulative, but anyway, I always appreciate those lines because it's definitely PR speak there. Moving forward, they will share responsibilities over game development and company operations. This is perfect. Like if Jen's focusing on that game development side, Mike's focusing on the company operations side, maybe this is going to be a match made in heaven. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see because I still think more change is needed. Both leaders are deeply committed to all of our employees and the work ahead to ensure Blizzard is the safest and most welcoming workplace available for women and people of any gender, ethnicity, sexual orientation, or background, to upholding and reinforcing our values and rebuilding your trust. With their many years of industry experience and deep commitment to integrity and inclusivity, Jen and Mike will lead Blizzard with care, compassion, and a dedication to excellence. You'll hear more from Jen and Mike soon. Following is a message from J. Allen Brack. I'm confident that Jen O'Neill and Mike Ybarra will provide the leadership Blizzard needs to realize its full potential and accelerate the pace of change. I anticipate that they will do so with passion and enthusiasm, and that they can be trusted to lead at the highest levels of integrity and commitment with the components of our culture that make Blizzard so special. It's such an awful line. in wake of everything. I mean, that's just my take. Finally, thank you all for being a part of the Blizzard community and for your passion and determination for safety and equity for all. I'm going to adjust this layout a little bit. Womp. So this is essentially from the investor, a letter from President and Chief Operating Officer Daniel Algry regarding Blizzard Entertainment. So this is them sending this information to their investors. So we'll cover that here as well. But before we do, just that, I still think work needs to be done. You know, I'm honestly, I really want to see what Jen and Mike can do, but leadership change, like, it doesn't happen overnight. Like, there are things that probably will be felt hopefully immediately for the employees. I can only hope, right? But the investigation's still going on. You know, there's still things that are out there, right? So we'll have to see how that plays out. But even when Yoshi P took over, it still takes years. And to the point where even with games that were in development, like, there's going to have to be kind of a reckoning, like a restructuring, a coming to, I guess, for lack of a better expression, come to Jesus moment for Blizzard to see what makes the most sense for them and what projects are important and what, I guess, parts of their culture that's toxic to kind of get addressed. Anyway, a letter from the president, Santa Monica, California, Business Wire, August 3rd. You can download the full PDF. Guys, links will be in the description for this. I am pleased to announce, effective immediately, Jen O'Neill and Mike Ybarra have been appointed as co-leaders at Blizzard. Now, this is also, again, right before their earnings call today. Jen and Mike share responsibility over development and operational accountability for the company. Both are leaders of great character and integrity and deeply committed to ensuring our workspace is the most inspired, welcoming environment for creative excellence and upholding our highest game development standards. Many of us already know Mike and Jen and have experienced their leadership, their empathy, and their unwavering sense of accountability. Jen is an 18-year company veteran with the former head of Vicarious Vision Studio as Executive Vice President and Development at Blizzard. She has been providing senior development leadership and support to the Diablo and Overwatch's franchise. Now, Mike has been in charge of the technology and gaming industry for 20 years, including 7 years as Senior Executive Microsoft at Xbox Division. And most recently, Mike was Executive Vice President and General Manager of the Platform and Technology at Blizzard, overseeing Battle.net and our development services organization. With their many years of experience and deep commitment to integrity and exclusivity, I think you're going to see this phrasing a lot. Integrity and inclusivity. I'm certain Jen and Mike will lead Blizzard with care and compassion and dedication to excellence. With Jen and Mike consuming the new roles, Jan and Brack is leaving the company to pursue new opportunities. Getting that stock cash out. Might go remodel some homes. Start his own studio. Like, all this is, possible. Cautionary note regarding looking forward statements. This press release may contain looking forward statements with the meaning of the Private Securities Litigation Reform Act. We may, in some cases, use the term predicts, believes, potential, purpose, continued estimates, anticipation, expects, plans, intends, etc., etc., etc. Yes. Anyway, we were looking at Jen and we were looking at Mike earlier. And we're also taking a look at the stock price. A lot of people, if you guys haven't seen my previous videos, a lot of YouTubers, gaming culture, looks at this as some kind of vindication of our impact as gamers. And honestly, it's not. This dips down too low, just like if like any stock, people will gobble it up. This is nothing. Anybody looking at this, it literally is something where oh gosh, it can be so frustrating sometimes, to where the company could buy their stock back, acquiring more themselves, using the money that you're giving them to do this, to suppress their own employees. I'm really excited. Again, this is such a weird bit of news because I said last week, Brack's gone. I said he's done. He's not going to be around. I expected it within the week, and I was right in that regards. I think you can check out the podcast if you're actually curious about my actual verbiage on the subject. I think Jay's gone, and now he's gone. I think that's a good move. I think he had to go. I think he had to absolutely go. But I still think that there's lots of work to be done. Jen and Mike are inheriting a mess And at its core, kind of as my final thought, and we'll wrap this up and we'll get to playing some games and stuff today. It takes a lot of work to build trust. It takes very little to lose it. And once you've lost it, it takes even more work to build it back. Leadership change is the only possible way forward for Blizzard. And this is just one step. I still expect that we're going to see more of Blizzard's leadership decide to pursue other opportunities, and that they'll find more people that espouse their integrity and inclusivity, as these terms will come up multiple times. And I think that's going to be the messaging that they continue to hit home. I think that because Vicarious Visions, now part of Blizzard, but I think that you'll see some excitement driven beyond Diablo 2. And then that will slowly start to kind of right the ship. Everybody will pat themselves on the back. Say, we did it, guys. We saved Blizzard. And yeah, and that's how it's going to go. So I don't know how you feel about it. I'd love to know. I don't feel necessarily great about it. I feel this is the first step, and hopefully we'll see more. And hopefully justice is going to, be served. Again, these are still allegations. I keep seeing those comments like, these are just allegations. It's like, yeah. And if they're true, I want the people brought to justice, and they're not. But not everything on the internet's fake. Like, this isn't some twit longer. This isn't some, somebody just like, hey, I'm gonna see if I can get some attention. And it's not that everybody who twit longers is doing that exact thing. It's a complex issue that you have to look at it case by case. I can't there's no global broad statement that applies to every case of abuse and every case of, clout chasing in that regards, right? People are abused. People do suffer. Most likely, in the case of Jan Brack, he's going to be just fine. Even if he's complicit, it sucks. It sucks. I don't think rich people go to jail. They get little umbrellas. They get little parachutes, and then they go about their day. And yeah. Wad Boy saying, I think he was asked to resign, though. I think he was not asked to resign. I think he was given, here are your options. You can take this money and you can go find another opportunity. You don't it's not in business because of the legal ramifications. If they let him go, they're like, you're done. He could sue, right? There's a concept of wrongful termination, and there's things that you have to prove to meet those requirements. And it ends up just being so much cost and expense that companies just don't want to deal with that. They literally look at it as a line item, right? What's the cheapest way? It's well, it's just cheaper for us to sit here and say, pay him out his stock. We'll bring in new leadership. That's what needs to happen. What I expect is that the numbers are kind of bad today. To one of two things will happen, is that the stock will get a little bit lower with this change and already their announcement. People are going to start to gobble it up. So I could see it going, another $5 or $10 down. But then I think probably here within a week or two's time, you're going to see this back in the 90s. And then as Diablo 2 comes out, and as they got a lot of work to do, they got to right a lot of this wrong, a lot of the ship, got to kind of clean up their thing. I don't think this change means that 9.2 is going to come out any faster. However, if there is a 9.3 for WoW, if there is, the next expansion, I don't see that impact having a big impact on the next expansion. But as you look more towards the future, if they do decide to do something big, it's going to be quite interesting to see what it is. Anyway, guys, those are my thoughts. This is a complex issue. Wanted to give you guys the news. Thanks for hanging out with me live. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, like, favorite, subscribe, share, clip, all that social media stuff. I appreciate you being here. For the members over on Ginger Prime, thank you so much for the support. For all the subscribers as we do the subathon over here on Twitch, thank you so much for the support. And yeah, that's going to be it. Who knows what other news will happen. Blizzard's going to have its call today. We might see, and we might cover that if there's something interesting to share with you guys, or if we'll have to say. Anyway, guys, for Ginger Prime, my name is Brian. Thanks for being here. Love you faces. We'll see you next time, and take care. I just want to say thank you so much for watching this video, and if you're listening to this voice, you are a special person, and I really do appreciate it. If you feel like watching more, YouTube's got its recommendations for you on the screen. Otherwise, I hope to see you soon. Bye.